Excuse me. What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
What's
How's
up?
everybody doing? Hope all is well. Welcome to another Sports Talk podcast with Michael and John. What's happening, John? How you doing?
Not much. Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Just busy with work and man, busy with work. We have getting towards the end of the year, so we got to go ahead and squeeze some projects in while we still can. I mean, it's just a royal pain in the rump,
I hear you.
you know. So,
What's up, Dom?
but how are you doing?
Good, good. Just keeping busy around the house.
It is that time of the year.
Yes, it is.
A lot of easy to stay busy. You know, Logan, how you doing?
What's up, Logan?
Did Dom did give us a howdy doody. Logan, how you doing? Hope all was well. Um, yeah. So before we talk some other stuff, let's talk some WWE and everything. Did you
I,
get to see War Games?
I did. I broke down and got it for a month to watch that.
And I tell you, I think they need to change the name to Friendly Games
Yes.
because that ain't war.
Now that was
What
that was
we
all for.
saw, I mean, number one, the women's match again. Oh, here we go. EOS. It's cool looking. It's fun to see. EO Sky putting on a garbage can, jumping off the top. We've seen that before.
Yeah. But
You
this time
know,
it was her own trash can with her name on it or something on it.
yeah, this was definitely an upgrade. I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I mean, again, to me, and what's worse about this one is that this one was only 4 matches,
Yeah.
and it's still. I mean, and you would have thought, man, if they're only going to have 4, they're going to have bangers, man. Everything is going to be, a banger and everything, and I mean, the women's match was good, but I've said it before. I've said it, online and like that. I go, I well, based off of what War Games was this year, um, I think the women's match fit in. But in my opinion, based off of what War Games is supposed to be, I don't look forward to seeing a women's match because it's supposed to be brutal.
Right.
And I mean, you know,
I mean, yeah, they brought in the kendo sticks and stuff like that, but they weren't used a lot. It was a couple hits and that was it.
no, they got hit on the back, they got hit in the back of the leg, they got hit in the ass. But it's supposed to be brutal. It's supposed to be, using the the cage, like a cheese grater and cutting open your opponents and everything. And I mean, I'm just sorry, but from the women's perspective, I don't want to see that stuff.
No.
I don't want to see, Charlotte Flair, if she gets all bloodied and is crimson running down, her face and everything. So, you know, right there, I mean, again, it was an okay match, but it, it's not what I expect.
Yeah.
When I think of war games.
Right. I agree.
You know,
I mean, we kind of predicted what was going to happen. Yeah, it would void a warranty. He's got a point. Oh,
yeah, all the doc. Well, yeah, that would the nose doctor. That probably would do the nose doctor. Um, but I'm kind of bummed with the Cena thing.
yeah.
Because I mean, he's going to lose his next 2 matches. So he loses his last ever PLE match, and then he's going to lose his last ever, regular wrestling match. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know what they could have done. I don't. I mean, I get the whole IC thing, and in Boston, and grand champion or grand slam winner. I mean, I get all that, and and I really don't have a problem with them doing that for him.
Right.
But I mean, it took
took
all of Judgment Day to beat him, though.
Right, and I think that was probably the point there. But what they could have done, even if he loses, have somebody come in for him against the Judgment Day, and they didn't have that. And I know Ray was there; they showed him backstage.
Right.
So you could have had a couple come in, but I can't really puts Dom over needing like 6 people.
Yeah.
Right. What's up, Chuck? I have a feeling they're not going to have him lose his last match.
Chuck, how are you?
I think he's going to win that one. And I really don't want to see Gunther in there. I really don't. I don't want to see LA Knight either, but
I think, well, continuing on, I mean, going into Monday Night Raw, you have the last 2 matches, Jay losing to LA Knight, then him having his, I don't know, little breakdown, crash out, whatever you want to call it, which, I mean, it just goes to show you that the guy, I mean, I don't know, I don't know if that's the way they're going to try doing this storyline, but I mean, you can't even crash out good.
Yeah.
Oh, push the water bottle down.
I mean, it was not. I mean, I think it's just basically to lead him to the turn to heel.
Sure, going to do a job if that's what they are planning. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's a slow turn, and that's why they did it that way and everything. I don't know. I think about when you think about it from a standpoint of is when you look at the 2 that are left, LA Knight is really a guy that they could use this on. You could, could you use it to have him turn heel? I mean, I think LA Knight going up against John and beating John does a little bit more for LA Knight than it does for Gunther.
Yes, I agree there.
I don't really think it does much for Gunther overall. Now, if there would have been a belt
up there, Gunther's already up there. He's already got to his level. I think might be a way to push Knight if they do have it go that way.
Well, I think you could do one of those things of is, to me, I don't know how you do it, but I could see this. You could potentially, in some kind of way, see them have it be LA Knight, have LA Knight beat John Cena, and that begins, let's say, even a heel turn for LA Knight.
Could be, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it could have been Waller. I mean, that's I can't disagree with that. Oh, I think definitely, most definitely Waller going ahead and beating him. He would have gotten some serious heat. I don't know. I think, I don't know. I look back on this whole thing now, and it's like,
I don't think they thought it out enough to.
Why?
Yeah. Because I think, like you said, I think it's going to be an all you're going to have a couple NXT guys coming up to face main roster stars to give them their shot at a bigger crowd, see how they do. and then you're gonna have that match with LA Knight and Cena, or Gunther and Cena.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But I mean, but going back to War Games, I mean Stephanie, Nikki Bella, I mean, that actually was better than I thought it was going to be. I think Nikki held her own.
She
Uh,
did,
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think Stephanie did go ahead and carry the match, which is what needed to be done.
right?
Um, but I think it was solid. I don't think Nikki really looked. I don't think Nikki looked
Terrible,
horrible. I'm not saying
right?
she looked great, but to me, she didn't look horrible.
And there were points when Stephanie was really, I was waiting to see like have her sister come in. That's kind of the way they were playing it on there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, and then you had the men's War Games match, which was underwhelming.
yes, very.
I mean, it kind of you know you knew Brock and Roman were going to be the last two.
Right.
Um, I think, in my opinion, when they showed it was going to be Punk and Breaker, that kind of was like, okay, understood. And then to me, it was going to be like, who was going to be next. And when you knew it was Drew, then you knew Cody was going to be next.
Right.
And then when Logan Paul came out, it kind of made sense that it would be Jimmy. And then, so I mean, it was you kind of understood everything. But hey, Kenneth, how you doing?
Kenneth?
Yeah, it
I
was.
agree.
It was not knowing.
I don't know if they're going to go that route with that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they work that lock-in.
The only
And then
way-
then you have the mission. Oh,
Oh, happy birthday, Kenneth.
happy birthday! 66 years old. Trying to write us tonight. Thanks so much for me. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome, sir.
Because from what you saw Monday night with Jay, I think they're going to try something with Jay and Roman at some point. Because Jay has beat.
Yeah, but how do you get, man?
Because the way he was talking, that Roman said that they'd look good on me. He didn't say they'd look good on, look good on. Roman said they'd look good on him. He goes, but not me.
Right.
He walked off his thoughts. I have a feeling they're trying to work that angle, maybe. But
Yeah, but I think part of it is I mean, you have that who you have the masked man, the man all dressed in black. Comes up. He got up that cage pretty quick, got down, did a stomp, climbed out, and left and everything. And what gets me is well, I was, his WWE trying to go ahead, and stretch something that shouldn't have been stretched. On Monday night is when whoever it was should have been revealed in some way, shape, or form.
What's up, Kenny?
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I agree there. I mean, there was you had what's his name, Adam Pearce talking to the one ref to go around, and because supposedly there was sightings of Seth Rollins without a sling walking around backstage, which isn't exactly out of the question.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, the guy that was in that suit kind of looked a little bigger than Seth. So that's why I think everybody's thinking Austin Theory. And not only that, again, why would Seth might not like the vision, what they did, but he hates CM Punk, so that could be a reason. Because they're saying, why would CM Punk make his team win? So, I mean, but there's all sorts of angles you could play on that if it is him.
Well, some people, you said Austin Theory. There were some people who said, could it have been Sami Zayn?
Oh,
I don't know.
some of
I
the
don't know
sites
because I've never
maybe-
seen Sammy move like
yeah,
that before.
exactly.
You
There
know,
were some sites stating that I guess Austin Theory was scheduled to be another member.
Mhm.
So I mean that's a possibility.
Yeah, I guess.
I did it with Rock.
Yeah, I can't disagree with. I mean, it wasn't super exciting. That's for damn sure.
No, not at all.
I don't know, but to me again, like, what's the benefit for? I mean, I get well, people are talking about it. There's all the kind of speculation, and everything. Some people thought, oh man, it was uh, um, could it have been Montez Ford? Could it have been other people and everything? So I don't know.
Could have been an NXT
It
guy.
was theory, but that doesn't mean he'll be revealed. Yeah, I
And
mean,
you,
it does,
and
the
you
thing
know
that
that for sure, Lawton?
well, the only thing that gets me is why stomp Punk?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, Punk is like why, that's the only thing that gets me is so there has to be, you think there's some kind of an angle there with that, which when I don't think anybody thinks Austin Theory CM Punk, right?
Yeah, no, I don't see that at all.
You know,
What they start out with is what you're going to see probably WrestleMania is Breaker and Punk.
well, it'll be a rematch because they announced that at the 1 year anniversary of Raw, that first Monday Night Raw on what is it, January 6th, I guess, is Breaker versus Punk. True. Yeah, you're right. He is the only one that I've seen move like that also.
Hmm. It's possible. Like I said, it's going to be like, I mean, if it's Seth, then that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. What's up, Sean?
Hello, Sean. How you
We'll
doing?
see how they angle that, play that angle off.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. See, to me, so it has to be if it's someone from NXT, let's say, who was Breaker around in NXT, right? Because you think you would be helping um you'd be helping Breaker.
Which they kind of did because Breaker took the spear on. He could put the spear on him, and then he got super kicked and stomped. And the move was identical to Seth. I mean, identical.
Right, but that's what I'm saying from a standpoint of is um why
Why would he do that?
like are you telling me are you setting are you telling me that you're setting up something? Are they going to say that Breaker doing what he did and Reed doing what they did to Seth was a work?
It is possible.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, but that's weak.
Are they going to set up a Punk and Rollins match or Punk and Breaker as a number one contender match? I don't know. Going to be
Yeah,
interesting in the next couple of weeks to see what they plan. Like if they ever do actually reveal that person or not.
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The one thing is the person can't come out in their full. They can't come out like they did at War Games because as soon as they talk, someone's gonna know. Unless it is, Heyman goes ahead and says, "Hey, yeah, we did have somebody." I think I think they do the whole stomp thing to make people think that it is Seth.
And maybe they come out with the vision and then they bring him out in the full blacked out gear and then Heyman goes, "Take your mask off, show him who you are," or something like that. Deal to do it.
What's up, Kenny?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see how they try and spin this. I don't see any good angle for it. In reality, a theory going ahead and showing up. Even to think about it, a theory showing up out of nowhere. Because when's the last time Austin Theory's been around?
That's true.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Could
So I mean, like, and then
could they do a Joe Henry with that?
No, I don't think you would put Joe Hendry in that type of a position. It could have been Austin Theory, like Larkin said.
Yeah.
And what they could go ahead and do is they could reveal it as Randy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that size was enough for Randy, but then again, you really couldn't tell for sure.
But again, to what Larkin said,
I would think if it was Randy, it would have been done to Cody if he was actually turning heel, and it was Randy. That's who I think he would have done it to before Punk. That's the only thing there that I would see.
Well, not when you see the end of the match, and it kind of looks like Roman, says, no, you're right. It doesn't. It wasn't big enough to be Randy. What I'm saying though is kind of like what Larkin said.
They say
it was Theory. It doesn't mean he will be revealed. They could go ahead and have it be Randy. They could have it be anybody.
Yeah, they could pick anybody to put him in the stoop, put him out there, and say, "Hey."
Yeah, I think the stomp was just used because if you use some other kind of move or a finisher, it's a giveaway.
Yeah, if you use the boot or the RKO, something like that, you're going to know who it is.
Right.
It was a smaller person, definitely, because as fast as they move, that's what makes me think if it actually is Seth, or if it's Austin Theory, he makes sense because of his body build.
Yeah, my brother said about maybe Chris Jericho coming to WWE, but that was about a month ago. So,
his contract doesn't run out until the end of December at AEW. So,
okay.
It wouldn't be Jericho. Not in the shape Jericho's in at this point.
No, but again, it's one of those things where
they could use him as the
if you. Yeah, but you can't reveal it to someone as a yes. What you can do is you can drag it out enough to where some people will forget.
Yes.
Something along those lines. I mean, but couldn't be Jericho, couldn't be Edge, because Edge is
he's finishing out his career out there.
But not only that, his contract, I think, isn't up until sometime maybe like April, May, or something like that of next year.
Edges?
Yeah.
I thought it said 2027, but that always can change. But I mean, it could have been Dolph Ziggler.
Danhausen. Rumble being in Saudi would ruin Jericho's last big surprise return. Rumble being in Saudi, I mean, that's another little twist people were talking about, it being Sami Zayn.
The person, I mean, granted, now it was all black. It just, the person looked bigger than Sami Zayn. That's all I'm saying. Build wise.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was him. Could they bring Jericho, drag it out, and then it's Jericho? That's a possibility. I don't see that happening. I can see what Mike said could be Randy. I could see that.
I think you'd have a better chance of convincing some casual fans, um, that it could be Randy. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be hard to go ahead and convince people that it was Jericho. Uh, from that standpoint. So I don't know. That's why I think you know, right. None of it matters. It was just a stand. I think that's what we're saying is that to your point, like you said before, somebody came out and that's who it was. It could even be true. There is no reason to hide it if it is Randy. You know, it could be they could Obafemi.
I don't know about that one.
Now he didn't have the walk,
Yeah, that person climbed that cage way too quickly.
but and it could be one of those things where, to Lawkins' point, from a standpoint of that, it is, hey, Jericho, he can come in with somebody. Maybe maybe it is a theory, or maybe it's a younger guy that Jericho. I convinced him to go ahead and do this, and here we are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it was a little on the dumb side. All I have left is the Yeet morons. They're worrying about convincing them about it. Yeah. And that was another thing. In the middle of the freaking match, in the middle of War Games, you run the music in and you climb on the stage and you look like you're freaking dry humping the freaking the wire.
Yeah, I did not.
I mean, it was just hard. There were parts of it that were just horrible. And if you remember the rule that they took out: anybody leaves the cage,
your whole team's disqualified.
Your whole team's disqualified. They left that out. This way, Brock could come out and try and meet Roman beforehand.
Yeah, so because he didn't go into the cage, he stood on the steps.
Yeah,
and he made that.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't know where they're going to go with any of the storylines after this. I mean, it makes no sense besides for the Breaker versus Punk, and maybe Roman versus Cody. Maybe.
I mean, the only thing you really could have done, the way you make storylines come out of that is whoever the losing team is they start pushing and shoving, and all this other kind of crap goes on. It's even like with the women. Okay, hey, we're all buddy now. AJ Lee and Rhea and Io and Charlotte and Alexa. Okay, we're all until Monday night. Then it's like, okay, we really don't like you.
Right.
And now you're gonna have, then you have, Kabuki Warriors have that tag match, and Kabuki Warriors jump in, and then then Bailey and what's her name go ahead, and come in, and it's just, it's.
They're just pulling at strings right now, trying to make up storylines on the go. It seems like there's nothing planned, or if it's planned, it's very poorly planned, as it has been since TKO has taken over.
Yeah, I mean,
Theory and Seth are the only two that make sense climbing the cage like that. That's it.
Yeah, but again, to me, the part about Seth that I don't understand. Well, if Heyman says, "Hey, I had nothing to do with it," but it would make no sense unless you're looking at it from a standpoint of if you think a little longer term, because that's what we think, they can do. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Triple H is living up to that moniker right there. I guess the one thing you could kind of do would be this. With what is going on, and you have Breaker going up against CM Punk. If you're ready to put the title on Breaker, you don't reveal who it is. You let that keep stewing. And maybe and then maybe the next on that Monday night, up in the rafters, there's it's kind of like the old thing, right? Up in the rafters, there's a guy, or the man in black walks out and just stand. He comes out from behind the curtain, stands at the top of the entrance, just peering into the ring,
Yeah.
and then you keep that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That would be they're almost like twins. You keep doing that type of thing, and then you reveal it as Seth. It's not Seth right now, but you could reveal it as Seth and saying, I did what I did because I didn't want Punk to be champ anymore. I accomplished that, but now I get to take the Vision down by taking the title back. Yeah.
That is a possibility.
Vince Russo is booking JWC and 100. So who is really winning? I mean,
Nobody.
I don't mean to say anything, and I don't, and I think I'm not. Let's go ahead and be 100% honest with it. Is Triple H in the spot he is in if he's not married to Stephanie McMahon?
Slim chance.
I would say no.
But I see. I don't think it's just him though. I think he's just taking on the words that TKO is saying. Hey, let's do this, and boom, that's all there is to it.
And I will say he's doing a really good job of at least what appears to be out in front of the crowd. If he is frustrated, he's doing a good job not showing any kind of frustration when he's out there talking to people.
Although I will say this, I went on Ticketmaster an hour before the show started out there because I took the time frame. There had to be a good 100, 200 seats left. They still called it a sellout.
Yeah. Yep.
Mom, you should jump on with us, brother. We'd love to have you here.
Yeah, Dom.
Yeah.
How you
Yeah, I
doing,
don't
Dom?
know. To me, again, like that's the whole thing about the little. If you think if they are doing any kind of long term stuff, they could do something along those lines. Hey, I mean, but again,
okay, Braun wins the title. Well, now I'm going to go after Braun to get the title back to take the Vision down.
right? I mean, that kind of sort of works.
Because you can have, if he's truly going to be used in that way, he's not due back till like, I think April, technically April.
Right.
Which is WrestleMania time.
Right.
So you could have him like if, say, Braun and Punk do a match, say, at Royal Rumble. You could have Seth interfere in that one. Curb stomp Punk again. Breaker wins. Come WrestleMania or sometime between then and WrestleMania, it's revealed as Seth, and then Seth says he's coming after his title.
Yeah, you caused me to lose my title by taking me out, and and now I'm coming after you to ruin the Vision.
Yeah.
And where Brock Lesnar fits in this thing to help protect the Vision, I don't know.
Or even Logan Paul, where what's that just made no sense either.
And then you don't know what's going on with the whole Jay piece. I mean, from that standpoint, what are you doing with, you got Gunther back now. What are you doing with him? What route is he going to go? I mean, is he going to continue to go ahead and just be a guy who's going to be a mid-card guy?
Yeah, and I don't think even if he is the one against Cena and he wins, it's not helping him move up the ladder at all.
Agreed. Yeah,
they were.
I think so. But and then you saw Monday night Paul going after Rey Mysterio, which I mean,
I think we all
want to see that.
what you're going to see is Ray beat him probably.
Is Ray going to beat Dom?
I really thought that was going to be a thing, but
Look for that to be a WrestleMania match.
they've already done it though. They had that.
No, yeah, that's right. They had that one a couple years ago, I think, wasn't it?
And where I think that was the one where he took his belt off and beat his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had Ray go after, I can't see putting the IC title on Ray, but the AAA is a possibility. I don't know.
Well,
Like you said, what point is the Dom and Logan Paul match make any sense anywhere? It doesn't. If Logan Paul is part of Judgment Day, okay, I could see it. Ray taking them out one by one or something like that. But it's almost setting up for another type of War Games match with Ray and somebody else and some other guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to when that whole. I mean, I don't know. Here we are. We've been talking about, the Judgment Day needs to be broken up, or should be broken up, or it's going to be broken up.
That would have been a perfect time.
Forever. And then you have on Monday Night Raw, you have Liv come out, and she hands she talks to Raquel. Gives her a title. She picks up a title. He gives it to Roxanne. Roxanne turns and hands it to her, and she goes ahead and hands it back and everything. And it's like, right then and there, you could have, you should have, done something, but but you don't. It's like, the Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw. Okay, all you have is the IC title.
I mean, are they trying to set up a Vision versus Judgment Day?
Ooh. That's cold, Larkin.
A little bit. We're at 28 right now, so we're okay.
You want to say a Vision what?
A Vision versus Judgment Day match? Is that what they're trying to pull out here?
No, man, that's a damn joke.
I agree, but it is the WWE, so I'm just saying.
When's Sheamus going to come back?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think Sheamus is actually legitimately hurt, from what I was reading.
Like Penta. Or I mean, it sounded like Penta was.
I think he is, yeah. And I knew when Dom acted like it, and you knew he wasn't hurt.
It was. I tell you what, it was a very interesting fall.
It was.
To me, it looked real at the beginning. Then once you saw Raquel go in, you're like, okay, Dom ain't hurt.
Yeah.
In Judgment Day, Finn, I have no idea what you're doing with Judgment Day. They have, again, all they have is the IC title. Who are they going to put a world title on? Like in the near future, they're going to put it on.
None of them are ready for that. Well, maybe Liv, but that'd be about it.
Yeah, but you're going to pull it off of Stephanie already?
I mean, you don't see, like, if you looked, Finn Balor did not look happy in that ring. So
but I think that's what they're trying to do. If you remember when Liv came back, she didn't say anything to, there was no acknowledging Roxanne, there was no acknowledging Finn.
Yeah.
But I think they are leading to a breakup.
Just when and how.
Right. Because at some point in time, Dominic is going to get a heavyweight title run.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when, how long,
and who he goes up against. Who he's going to go up against at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem you have, so, well, the thing is it's going to be easy, to me, when he wins the title, when he becomes the heavyweight champ, it's not going to be a clean victory.
Oh, no. See, that's where I thought they were going to have somebody come out and help Cena at that point when you had all them guys out there, at least one or two guys, and they didn't do that. That's when I'm like, all right, well, Cena's losing this one.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Yep.
'Cause I thought Ray would have at least came out, but he didn't. But you knew who was going to win the matches. You knew. Well, the only one that could have went differently would be the women's War Games. But once they won, you knew Stephanie was going to win. You knew John was going to lose, and you knew the face team on the men's was going to lose. It's just
right, because it does you no good to have. It does you no good to have
all your faces winning.
all your faces win. From that standpoint, so you think you had 2 and 2. You had 2 faces win in the women, and you had the 2 heels win in the men's.
Right.
The 2 men's match, stuff like that. I think, but again, we talked about it a couple of different times. This is what makes WWE so frustrating right now.
Yeah.
Because there's like nothing there.
As lopsided as that men's match was, you kind of knew who was going to win that one. I think they should have had Cena win that match. I think it would have just evened things out a little bit, but
not even things out a little bit. It's his last match as the IC champ, and he loses, and he loses. Then it's like, honestly, if he would have beat Dominic, and he goes into his last match as the IC champ, I wouldn't have a problem if it was Gunther who beats LA Knight, and then he goes on and beats John. And at least he's just not retiring him. He's beating him for a title.
Right. Now it's kind of just a match of, okay.
Now it's just the final match of Saturday night's main event. And it's
going to be on Peacock, right?
John talk.
Peacock still has them, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That'll be on Peacock. But that's what you're looking at right now. The truth of the matter is no one's really going to give a shit about any match before
that match.
Seeing it. Because what are you going to do? Because I understand the part about the NXT guys. I get it. But so you bring Javon Evans up, and who do you have him go against to make it worthwhile to kind of showcase? And the who doesn't matter, because are you going to have Javon Evans win and beat one of your, Monday Night Raw or SmackDown guys? Right? Are you going to have
a lower end one? Yes, I could see.
Who?
Like a lower tier main roster person, maybe. But I can't. I mean, do you put him in with Logan Paul and he loses or he beats Logan Paul? I can't see that.
Right.
Unless the way to get him out of the vision, but I mean,
they should be extremely pissed off at this deal.
I think they're going to end up backing out at some point
because it has been shit for them so far.
Mm-hmm.
This has not done anything for ESPN at all, But what I'm saying though is like if you go back to Saturday night, okay, so right, do you bring Jimmy Uso in against Javon Evans, and then you have Javon Evans beat Jimmy Uso?
Like, I mean, that's a possibility.
If you bring these, but how does that build? You might as well just you bury Jimmy more.
Or do you have him face Jay, beat Jay, and then that kind of pushes Jay even a little more towards the heel side with losing to a NXT person?
If you do that, then it has to be a massive crash out. It can't be one of those pussy crash outs like it was the other night. It has to be a massive crash out. They lost to Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus now has UFC.
You'd have to have it to where Jay retaliates on Javon while he's still in the ring celebrating the win and just beat the living crap out of him.
That, and then Jay interferes in the next match and beats the hell out of the NXT person there. And I don't think the WWE would go ahead and do that because that's going to take away from what John wanted on his last night. But again, my point is who are you bringing up from NXT to give a shot to go up against a WWE or Raw guy and have him lose?
Hey, Maddie.
Yeah.
What's up, Maddie? You know what I'm saying?
And the question is, are they going to bring up 2 guys and 2 women? Are you going to have 5 matches all together? Or are you going to have 1 woman and 1 man come up and have a 3-match card? That's the other thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their plan is. I just don't understand from a winning and losing perspective of what good does it do having an NXT guy come up and beat a Raw or a SmackDown guy or girl. It does. I mean, it doesn't do anything unless you're promoting them to the roster. I mean, so you have Saturday night's main event, and you have pick a person on NXT. Pick any person. Just say a name. Ricky, let's say not your champion. Let's say Javon Evans. So you have Javon Evans show up, and we're saying a mid-card guy. Again, even if you say Jimmy Uso. So Javon Evans goes ahead Saturday night. He beats up Jimmy Uso. He gets the win. And then what? He's back on NXT on Tuesday?
True.
Like I don't understand. I don't understand what this is. Is it an exhibition where it doesn't really matter? That's not really about the winning and the losing. That's the parts that I don't. That's the things I don't understand of what they are trying to accomplish here. It's another bullshit thing that they're doing. Don't get me wrong. I understand it is all about John and everything, and that is being his final time as as an active participant. In wrestling, I go ahead and as an in-ring talent, I go ahead and I get that part. I just don't understand this whole thing now about giving NXT guys a shot. A shot at what?
Right.
I guess the big thing would be to be seen on TV. Why? They say Saturday. You're not interested in NXT. You don't really give. You don't need. Let's say you don't give a shit about NXT.
Right. Because I don't watch it.
You look at the advertisement on Peacock, and it says from 7:30 to 10:30. Why you need to turn on Peacock until 9:45?
If not 9 o'clock. Now, I was looking at the roster. They could technically, because these 2 guys really haven't done much, you could have one of these NXT guys go up against, say, a Tozawa or the big guy.
You want to see that?
I don't want to see it, but I could see it happening.
For what?
You know how they are. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That would be so. If you're John Cena, and you may not care, but you would have to be so disappointed that Tozawa, that you shared the last night of your career with Tozawa.
That's what I'm throwing out. I mean, or you could do it with Grande Americana.
Yes, Dom, you can. Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad one.
You could do Javon Evans versus El Grande Americano, sure. Have some kind of interference if you want, or so on and so forth. All I'm saying is that when you look at what this thing is to do, they're trying to do is, again, from my standpoint, you would only have an NXT person beat a Raw person or SmackDown person if you were getting ready to come over them.
And is anybody really ready to come over from there?
Again, you pick a name Tony D'Angelo from NXT, or or you pick, well, Sean Spears is part of a faction, so he probably wouldn't, right? Like if you brought in Obafemi, the big thing is this: fans would expect Obafemi to win.
Yeah.
You bring Obafemi against Jimmy Uso. I don't necessarily know if people are going to give two craps about that much. Like I said, to me,
I mean, there's other ones that they could go up against, say like the Miz or say Shinsuke, and I could see they could beat them there.
again, I don't disagree with that part. But what does the winning? I'm just trying to figure out what does an NXT guy going there winning
It's going to
do
be
if
basically.
on Tuesday he shows back up on NXT?
I think it's going to be they're going to pick guys that they think or they have plans on bringing up real near future or that night. And basically, maybe they're fighting for a contract. If they win, they get a contract. If they don't, they're back down in NXT. They could do it that way too. Then you'd have to pick the guys who they're going to want to bring up are going to be the ones that are going to be fighting then. I mean, I can't see any of them fighting your retired guys coming back to do it. I mean, that would make no sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm looking at NXT roster now. I mean, who are you going to, I mean, Ethan Page, do you bring him up to give him a shot? Do you bring, some of these other guys that I'm looking at? Sean Spears, William Regal. I mean,
I guess from a standpoint of it is that, anybody that you bring up, if you're thinking I'm bringing these guys up, I'm going to give them a good showing. I'm going to, they're going to go ahead and they're going to win and everything.
And I think they do. If they do, it's going to be guys that might be.
But where are they going to fit?
Maybe they'll bring up. I can't see him bringing up any of the champions. I mean, that's a possibility. But looking at these, I mean, you have Ricky Saints as the champion, Ethan Page, Jasper Troy, Jackson Drake, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, which none of them look like they'd be pushing any of them.
Right.
So it's going to be probably the ones that we saw in the tournament, which would be Javon Evans, and who was the other guy? Isn't there another one?
I don't watch NXT that much, so I can't help you on that one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm looking this one look up real quick. Bracket. So you had. Oh, Evans looks like the only one, really.
Yeah, because it was Dolph Ziggler was the other one.
And Zack Ryder.
And there was Zack Ryder. Hey, imagine if the mystery man was Zack Ryder.
Well, that's what I was saying. Him or Dolph. Dolph has almost the same physique as a Seth. Can move that quick.
When did these guys say that Sheamus is going to be out for? How long is he going to be out?
Sheamus.
I thought he'd be back pretty soon.
Yeah, you're right, Lawkin. I mean, NXT as a show overall has had better moments, than Raw or SmackDown has in a long time. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because they're still even though they're not selling out some of these PLEs and everything, they're still selling a lot. And you wonder how many people will like you, John. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sign up, and then how many people forget? So maybe they get 2 months out of it, right? Then when they see the credit card bill, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Can't believe I
that's
went
why
ahead.
I look at the fine print when my next charge is. So I can go, nope.
Yep.
I'll probably go do it here this week or something. But
Yeah.
there is no update on when he's going to return.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought he'd be back by now. I know he was injured there for a little while, but
He got back from his neck surgery, and now he's got a shoulder injury that they don't have a timeline on.
good enough.
But yeah, I don't see where they're going with any of this, how they're going to make it work. Because there's no viable, like you said, like the only one that makes sense is LA Knight, because they could, like you said, possibly set him on a heel turn or have him make a run for one of the either the IC, the US titles. I don't see him running for a major title yet.
That's why I think, the problem they have is where they had the two mid-level titles. They had one on, Ilya, and they had one on Dom. And knowing that Cena needed, the IC for the Grand Slam, again, I get that part. That makes sense and everything. I still think you could have had him win,
Let him
and
keep it to his last match.
and then you have Cena go ahead and lose the last match, and he loses the belt. That, in turn, if you had it be LA Knight, helps LA Knight go ahead and do some kind of a heel turn. Even if it was Gunther, I mean, let's face it, at least it does maybe put a little more prestige or on the IC title versus with Dom having it, right? Because although as much as we love with Don and his shenanigans and so on and so forth,
It's not as
it's like, okay, wow, ooh, stuff like that. I think it also would give, you put a belt again on Gunther. To me, it's weird, but his style, his persona, just gives you everything about a guy who would be a champion, and now to make him try and chase somebody, where are you going to go? I mean, when he was Walter and he was going up against Ilya Dragunov in NXT Europe or England, whatever the hell it was over there, some of their matches were freaking incredible. Incredible matches. So maybe
what do you see as a better match? Do you see a Cena Gunther being a better match, or the LA Knight and him and Cena? I think you get a better match out of Cena and LA Knight than you would Gunther and him.
That's what I was about ready to say. LA Knight and Cena would probably be their better match.
yeah, because I definitely think that's a better one just because it'll be more athletic. Not saying that John is super athletic. Don't don't kill me in the chat. That's not what I'm saying. But
But he hasn't looked bad in his last couple matches.
no, he hasn't. He hasn't. But as much as Gunther, you see him go onto the top rope, be doing something. There are times when he does, I know stiff is not the right word, but he kind of, just you don't get charisma coming out of him, right? Guys that are running around more and so on and so forth, it's like, um, Gunther's like the guy who, the construction worker, he puts his hard hat on, he grabs his lunchbox, he goes, he does his work, he does really good, and then boom, he's done, and it's over, right? I'm not saying that Gunther is not a better athlete. See, and here we go. I'm not saying anything like that.
No, and just saying, I think you would see a better match with LA Knight and Cena than Gunther basically just going in and it just being a slap match and I'm going to put you to sleep and that's it.
Yeah, I mean the solo Gunther match was excellent.
Yeah,
on Monday. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that about it, but I'm saying when you think when you think Gunther, you're not thinking of a very athletic wrestler,
No.
right? You don't think of he is very athletic. What I'm saying is, but you don't look at him that way. When you see what like a Javon Evans does, you think, wow, holy cow, athletic. When you see, with some of these guys, with what they do, different wrestlers and how they move in the ring and stuff like that, their style, the Gunther's style does not make him look very athletic, right? Or that he's not a good athlete. When he is, but when his match style, he does, some stuff, but for the most part, it's chop the crap out of you, throw you in a sleeper, I'll throw you in a Boston Crab, maybe, I'll power bomb you a few times,
Yeah.
and people come, and then it's funny, right? When you think of Gunther, what do you think of? When you think of him wrestling, what do you think? You think big ass chops. You think the power bomb. What else?
The sleeper.
The sleeper.
And that's really about it.
3 moves. That's what you think. Yet people went ahead and go ahead and they shit on John Cena because he only had 5 moves. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about that. That doesn't make Gunther not a good wrestler. It doesn't make Gunther a non, athlete. It doesn't make him a non good wrestler. I'm just saying when you look at him and you think of his style, you don't think of the ring general as a guy that is flying around, jumping around. You figure general is the kind of guy that just beats the crap out of people.
Right.
I know, Larkin. I understand exactly what you're saying.
But it's the way they're portraying him on
I'm not
Raw and what
disagreeing
they're
with
willing to
what
do.
he was. I'm looking at what he is today. They don't portray him as the super athlete.
Yeah, Raw did not allow him to go that way.
No. That's what I'm saying. When you watch his matches, even when he was bigger as Walter, and you watch him against Ilya Dragunov, and you watch some of those things, they're incredible matches. I'm just saying today's version
Is not.
don't think of him that way. At least I don't. I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth. I don't think of him that way. I like watching him wrestle. I like to see, like, that's a guy who should be in War Games.
Yeah.
Right? That's a guy.
He made a better team member than Logan Paul.
Right. Because that's a guy you can see going, because you think about it, when you see the way he is in the ring right now, and you see the way he chops at the people and the things that he does with the power slams and the power moves and all that kind of stuff, and the big clotheslines. Now think of that style in War Games.
Oh yeah. I think eventually we'll see it, but not anytime soon.
Well, that's another thing I think, for my own personal opinion. I think War Games needs to go on the back burner for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think Survivor Series needs to go back to the traditional Survivor Series match.
I was going to ask you guys, maybe in the future, have like War Games, take you 5 NXT, 5 of the Raw, and 5 of the SmackDown, and put them in a ring together. Maybe, what do you think about that? What are your ideas?
Oh dear God, a triple threat.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It may be interesting.
I mean, it'd be interesting. My initial thing is that would be a tough watch.
That would be, I think.
You know what I'm saying? Because that would be interesting to go ahead and watch.
Like, would the 2 main roster teams go after the NXT team, or would they just be all out, one for all and all for one?
Yeah. I don't know. That is an interesting.
I agree with you. Put War Games on the back burner for 2 or 3 years. Bring it out once in a while, and go back to the original Survivor Series over the top rope.
do like the war games once every 5 years, roughly.
You could,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 to 5. But to me, there should be more of a build up to it.
Yes. Not
There
a
should be a
month.
reason why the 5 guys want to join together, and I don't, and you know, and maybe the bloodline one went ahead and spoiled it. You know what I'm saying? You know, from that standpoint, but
Right.
but
I would have rather seen Solo's bloodline versus the Wyatt Six in there than what we saw.
yeah, that would have been
Because
that would
you
have
have five
that would have been
guys
good.
sides.
But again, that's because when you think of White Six, you think of those guys are some psychotic son of a guns, and they'll do some crazy ass shit,
This is true, but I
right?
think it would definitely make it interesting.
But
Would have
I'm
been a lot
saying,
better to watch.
but that's the meaning of the war games.
Yeah.
It should be freaking brutal. If there are 10 guys in that damn ring,
Somebody should be bleeding, damn it.
8 of them should be bleeding.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be that freaking brutal of an event. Otherwise, if you're not going to do that, it's a 5-on-5 tornado tag match.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it is.
And the women should go back to just traditional Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think women's war games. I know, again, we're women. We could do whatever men do, and blah blah blah, and well, I just stop. I mean, I get all that part, and that's all great and everything like that. Yippee yappee yahooey, But the truth of the matter is that you can't build up a match as being a brutal match, and then not have the brutality.
Right. I agree.
Do you see women in a Texas strap match?
No?
Not that. I mean, they may have been. I don't remember any.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they did have the pillow fight matches.
The what?
The pillow fight matches. Remember
May I
that?
help you?
Right. They had
And
that.
Okay.
Come down to their bra
Sound
and panties
good.
match.
They had the bra and panties.
I'll probably leave.
They had all that kind of stuff and everything.
Which I know you can't have now, but you could do the pillow fight one, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
Especially with Nia and Lash.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Big ass pillow. You know what I'm saying? But that's just it. I mean, really, you have Lash Legend come out last.
I was thinking it was going to be AJ and.
That's what I expected.
Okay, I'm back, guy.
I did expect AJ to get the win on Becky.
To keep that rivalry going.
That part, I know making sense doesn't sound right, but that made sense. But to have Lash Legend, come out last and and kind of again do what she did and everything. But okay, so you're gonna make her look. What did she call? I forgot what she called herself. The whatever something bully. To have her come out like that, beat up Charlotte and beat up all of them the way she did. Okay, but you're keeping her as the tag with Nia.
Right.
Why? What are you showing there? What are you showing me there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think they have work to do. I just don't know how they can. I don't know what they can do. I don't know. You don't know. Too many things don't make sense. Again, you look at the men's match. Once all competitors were in there, it was rushed.
I agree there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was happy it ended when it ended because Mike and I started watching late Sunday, and I think it ended for us. We watched the replay, and it ended at 1:15 in the morning. So I was like, so in a way, I was like, all right, I'm glad it's over. But in another way, I was like, really, it's over?
Yeah, I'm over here looking at wrestling starts, and they're even saying that the decision from the company is to keep the mystery firmly in place as of right now,
Yeah,
to give creative possibilities.
yeah. Larkin made a great point. It's the reveal does not have to be the same person.
Right.
And I think because you think about it, next Monday night, you could have Randy go ahead and dress all in black
Good.
and come out. And then the week after that, you could have you could have Sami Zayn dress all in the black and then come out, right? You think about it from that standpoint of is that you could do, you can keep throwing somebody different underneath all those black clothes with, with the, with the, like the war paint on, right? To black out the eyes completely. You could do all of that every other week, every week with different wrestlers every single time.
You could do it with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Well, all we can do is sit back and see what they decide to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they have, overall as this year comes to an end, you know, I, look, the first 6 months, well, not the first 6 months, from April to what was it, basically to July, you know, they ruined any kind of Cena, farewell tour per se with heel turn and everything like that. And even though, you know, it was never going to go over well because it was something that so many people wanted to see over the last 15 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you knew he was not, and the bad part is you knew he was not going to want to go out as a heel. So once he was a heel turn April, you knew at some point over the next, 6 months, he was going to go back to being a face.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was going to happen. What could they have done better? I don't know. I don't know what they could have done better, with Cena. I don't think anything they did was gonna be was gonna really satisfy a lot of people. There are a lot of people, you look you, when you were there, you don't know how many of them were just saying it because they were just saying it. But when you heard the "Let's go Cena sucks" chants, I mean, they were, when you listen to the volume, it sounded as though they were split right down the middle.
I agree.
You know, and you again, you look at where you are, what they've tried to do with Roman, with Cody. You know, I remember, I don't know what wasn't last year, but but it was the year before when when Roman won, when Cody won, and I said, I know Roman maybe needed a break, but Cody winning the title was going to go ahead and kill all that stuff, and it did.
Yeah.
When you think about it, Roman losing and going away was really when, in my opinion, not saying that it wasn't dipping before then, but that really started the dip.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Me too.
That's when the dip started, and I don't know, I don't know what they've been doing to try and recover from it.
Nothing.
You know, And honestly, I don't know what they do, unless they have some kind of a shakeup. It's like you almost needed to go back to being privately owned, because obviously we know TKO. I mean, they definitely, they care more about the money. Look, they just moved UFC off of ESPN onto Paramount Plus.
Yep.
So they care about the almighty dollar.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Wow, you think so, Larkin? Man, wow.
And TKO might sell off WWE to them.
That would be, I mean, when you think about it though, damn, Larkin, you make me think now. I mean, you look at what they are doing. They've already given them Royal Rumble. What I think they've already said, isn't the 2027?
I think it's 2027 or 2028. WrestleMania is going to be over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. You had Crown Jewel, you have Rumble, you have Riyadh thing. I mean, everything is about Riyadh, 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 Riyadh. Yeah.
It is because even I don't know if you guys know Mr. Beast, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think, yeah. I mean, you're right. You don't want to think about it that way, but unfortunately, I think we have to start to.
Everything's headed that way because Mr. Beast built his amusement park over there
Where?
in Riyadh.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I heard too.
Who?
Mr. Beast. I was like, he said he built a amusement park, so I went. He showed a video. He did a video this week, and it's all over in Riyadh. I'm like, really? And they're giving 2 tickets away to go see it if you win, but I ain't flying over there. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's what
That's where the money's at, though.
I was gonna say, yeah, you look at that area as a whole. I mean, in some of those, what was it in the city of Dubai? Wait, no, not Dubai. Is it UAE? No, is it not the city? Is it the country of UAE?
The United
I
Emirates.
think it's one of those little ass
Yeah.
freaking countries over there where they say, the person who is considered the poorest person would be a very rich person here in this country.
Yeah. So that's why most of it's going over there. They're saying, hey, we'll give you this much. Come over here. He goes like, okay.
That would be. I mean, you wonder what the kind of fallout that could bring if, excuse me, if something like that were to happen.
Yeah.
What would the fall? I mean, all of a sudden, wow.
It would be bad.
Well, I mean, in a selfish way, it makes it harder to watch
I agree.
because of time differences and all the other. Like you look at what when they were over in Perth, yeah, great for those people. But when they were over in Perth, what did it start? 8 o'clock in the morning here, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Something like that, yeah.
I think the last one they had over in Saudi, it started like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like along those lines.
Something like that.
So like I don't know how they think they're gonna. I don't know how they think they're gonna go ahead and keep the American audience. Because look, the truth of the matter is, if you're a wrestling fan and you do any kind of social media, right? If you're online at all, if you're not going to watch, you stay up for everything. Like when I knew I wasn't going to be able to watch on Saturday, I had to make sure that I stayed away from Twitter, from different, stuff, so nothing would be revealed to me. And
Now you probably wish you would have read it.
What?
Now you probably wish you would have read it instead of watching it.
Yeah. Oh no, I got to watch with my son, so that
True.
from that standpoint. But you're right from a standpoint always is, let's say if Mike was not around, let's say he was not going to be around, he was away this whole weekend and everything like that, I would have been like, let me just go online and see what happened. You're right. I might have been more apt to not watch it, but go online and try and see what happened. Same
Right.
from that standpoint.
I agree with you there.
But we'll see what happens. They got work to do. They got work to do.
I think Friday Night SmackDown's going to be terrible. I can't see very much going on.
Well, is the Gunther LA night on SmackDown or is it on Raw?
It's on Raw.
Oh, yeah, that means SmackDown's going to suck ass. I mean, they got nothing. Could you potentially have Cody address the Roman situation at the end of War Games? But do it 6 days later because it means a lot.
Is Saturday night's main event this Saturday or next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
Okay, that's where I thought it was 13th.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That Gunther LA night does take place this Friday.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now.
So that's really the only thing you have to look forward to then for that.
For possible finishes for the Gunther LA night match. Let's see. Did they say anything good? Number 4, LA Knight wins. It deserves the much screen time. Jey Uso interferes to give Gunther the win, which would make sense too. The Vision attacks LA Knight. That's another possibility during that one, and just straight up Gunther wins. So all those are possibilities I could see happening.
Yeah.
Definitely with Jey. The Vision attacking Gunther, I don't see what that would. They haven't had any interaction with Gunther really, so this doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't necessarily think. Yeah, I mean interference. Why? I mean, if it was somebody other than Gunther, I could maybe see Jey interfering. Why would Jey want to interfere and give Gunther an advantage? It's going to be very interesting to see how that match goes.
Or would they have him interfere and go after Gunther to give LA Knight the win? I don't know. Be interesting. It's going to be that's about the only good thing for Friday night. And I bet you do have Cody come out and talk about the whole interaction with Roman, probably. And maybe even Roman comes out. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the only. I think that's the only. The only thing that really would be of any interest of again Cody addressing Roman, but why?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just filler. There's no real reason for any other kind of, good matches or anything like that. I don't know. I think they I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. We'll have to just sit back and wait and see.
So again,
masked man thing too. Should be the next couple months should be interesting.
The next couple months can be interesting. See what kind of build-up we have.
Because next pay-per-view is Royal Rumble, right?
Pardon?
The next Rumble is being January, yeah. Royal Rumble in January. Or is that February? When did they move? Aren't they supposed to move the Rumble from January to February or something?
I thought I read. I don't know if they have on the schedule here yet. We go that far. No, January 8th in
January 8th. I thought I read one time that they moved from January to beginning of
Oh no,
February
wait,
or something.
my bad. That's the road to. There's a Saturday night main event on January 24th. No, Elimination Chambers first, I guess.
Oh,
I don't even see a Royal Rumble listed.
It's got to be because it's in
I
sort
see
of.
yeah.
Yeah, I see a road to Royal Rumble gate, like starting January 8th in Germany, then Scotland, Denmark, Germany, UK, Poland, England, and Belgium. Then it goes to the Raw, the Saturday main event in Toronto or Montreal. And then you're into February already. And then they show for February 28th, Elimination Chamber.
So on Wikipedia, they're saying the 2026 Royal Rumble, also promoted as Royal Rumble Riyadh, it will be the 39th annual Royal Rumble. Man, Royal Rumble's been going on for 39 years.
January, you have January 31st?
Yeah, January. That's what I just got.
Yeah, January 31st, 2026.
January 1st, 31st. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I guess they're not selling tickets for it yet, but
so you have that, and then
you're selling tickets.
And a month later, you have Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, the end of February.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought I read that they moved for Royal Rumble from January to February for some reason. I guess I was mistaken.
Basically did.
Yeah.
And Money in the Bank has moved to September, because that was usually June. And if you remember, that was why whoever won 2025 Money in the Bank was going to have a longer window.
Yeah.
And then they're still saying SummerSlam is going to take place in August, but that can't be right. I thought they were moving that up to like June.
SummerSlam?
They're saying SummerSlam is August 1st and 2nd at US Stadium in Minnesota.
Yeah, I always thought that was an August pay-per-view, I thought.
But I thought they didn't they move something when they took WrestleMania away from New Orleans. They said I thought they were giving New Orleans two separate. So New Orleans is getting Money in the Bank.
Okay.
I thought they were giving, and Money in the Bank moved to September. And I thought they were going ahead and giving them something else, because WrestlePalooza was in September this past year, but now WrestlePalooza is going to have to move.
I'm not even seeing a WrestlePalooza date, so that might have been just maybe a one-time thing.
I know they announced it as a new PLE.
Because you would think they would have a date for it already, like they have everything else.
So Royal Rumbles, January, February is Elimination Chamber. There is nothing typically in March. April, you got Mania.
Yeah.
August is SummerSlam. September, they got Money in the Bank. Those are the ones that it seems that they basically announced so far. Because remember, they've had Clash and Castle a couple of times. They've had that one. You have Crown Jewel. You do have WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, usually like NXT has Halloween Havoc and these older, much older pay-per-views like they had in WCW.
Yeah, around 4th of July, they had Great American Bash.
Mm-hmm.
So right now there are no plans for another WrestlePalooza The event took place in September. WWE stated it wants Palooza to become a major annual event, but no future dates have been announced.
So maybe they'll put that in like December, maybe if they do bring it back.
They'll pop it on us like they did this year. Hey, we're going to do WrestlePalooza. Dumbest thing ever. Sorry. Just keep what you got and let it go. How about that?
Yeah. Keep the 4 major pay-per-views that you do have and keep them on the schedule or whatever.
I mean, I do like. I mean, I don't. The Clash of Champions is just stupid.
It's just a money-making scheme for the Saudi Arabians, I guess. Like they really need it.
Man, NXT is going on the road this month. WWE presents NXT Live December 12th in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Ric Flair territory.
They're actually going to be NXT Live Saturday, December 13th in Columbia, South Carolina. And then on Sunday, they're going to be in Macon, Georgia.
Well, there you go. You can go see one.
And then they're going to be doing 2 events. Then they got Florida, the 19th. They're going to be in Fort Pierce. NXT is going to be on the 20th. They're going to be in dates. So it's almost like they're doing a little bit of
little traveling
up shows. Then WWE is doing a live holiday tour December 20th. They got 2 shows on December 27th. They got 2 shows on December 28th.
And I got 2 coming. I got a Raw coming to Hershey, and then SmackDown to Wilkes-Barre coming up. Like
Hershey.
15th is Raw in Hershey, and then I think it's end of December is in Wilkes-Barre.
SmackDown December 12th at the Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
Arena.
It's next week.
Yeah.
Later. Either way, I can't afford tickets to either one of them.
You're pretty close to Hershey, aren't you, John?
I'm closer to Wilkes-Barre than I am Hershey, but I mean, they're both kind of about an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah, where I lived in Pennsylvania, Hershey was like 45 minutes west or east, I mean, roughly, maybe longer.
Yeah, I was looking at tickets to the Raw, but I'm like, to sit 2 rows behind the announcers is like $450. I'm like, nope.
Wow.
I mean, I can sit up in the rafters for like $50-$60, but I'm not doing that either.
I won tickets off a radio station, USC Raw, and we were like about 5 or 6 rows back to the one off the TV side.
Oh, wow.
When Triple H was still wrestling, I caught his water bottle. That's how far back. I still have the water bottle. I don't know where it's at right now.
Yeah. That's when wrestling was half decent.
Mm-hmm.
And tickets didn't cost you a fortune to go see.
Nope.
When I was in high school, my father would take me, and it was still regional at that point for the most part. And in New York, every other month they would either be, they'd be either in Madison Square Garden or they'd be out on Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum. And we would go to all of them that were at the Coliseum.
Nice.
My dad
I went to a lot of house shows.
My buddy Joe, my buddy Sean.
Yeah.
Watching the house shows were pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, that's where I went all the time. Whenever I lived in Pennsylvania, we went to a lot of house shows. Like WCW came into Altoona's Jaffa Mosque. That's where I see most of my wrestling.
It was nice because the wrestlers actually took time to basically shake everybody's hand when they came down or went back. You get an autograph quick and stuff, but not anymore. They got rid of them.
I remember a buddy of mine had graduated a year behind me in school. We were super early that one time at the Jaffa, and we seen some of the wrestlers come in with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Junkyard Dog, and Jake the Snake Roberts all came in one vehicle.
I thought doing that at some of these, not even getting tickets, but to go and stand back there where they pull in. I'm like, I went past one at Wilkes-Barre the one day, and the line was like almost all the way around to the entrance again. I'm like, not standing there because you're not going to see anything if you're that. You got to be back right there.
Yep.
To see them pull in.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I am going to have to get going, fellas.
Yeah, man.
Got an early day tomorrow.
All right, fellas. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I will, Mike, see you on Tuesday.
Yep.
Enjoy Friday Night SmackDown if you can.
Yeah. Hey, John, we got to figure out what we're going to do at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Because the 24th is Wednesday and the 31st is Wednesday. Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Christmas Eve we probably would. We don't have to do anything. I mean, New Year's Eve, I really don't do anything. So I don't know what you do, but since Dick Clark is kind of gone, it's just not the same. So I don't watch anything.
Try. I know it.
Kind of what it is.
I like Ryan Seacrest, but not that much. I'm a Dick Clark wannabe, you know.
So if you want to do something on New Year's Eve, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But Christmas, I think we should probably take a break.
Yep, let's go, Mets. Yeah, we'll figure that. We'll figure it out. We have
a couple weeks yet.
2 more weeks to talk.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right. I'll see you
Tuesday. Have a great one.
You
Have
too,
a good one, guys.
Catch you later.